Taking advantage of the fact that my husband was not around, my mother-in-law and her sisters did as they pleased. I confronted my mother-in-law, who was under the impression that she could behave as if our new house was her own without knowing anything about it. My name is Grace and I am 32 years old. At the time, I was 28 years old and had been married for 2 years to my husband Joshua. We lived with our son as a family of 3. My husband moved into the place that was originally my house, and we lived there. We continued to live in an apartment as a family of 3. We talked about buying a newly built house, but my husband was hardly ever home and we couldn't have a proper conversation. My husband had a job that required him to travel frequently even when we were dating. So even as newlyweds, we didn't spend much time together, and even now, our lifestyle hasn't changed much from when we were single. I work remotely from home and take care of our child. But it's very easy not to worry about my husband's meals, and having time to myself is also a happy life. I'd like to go on a trip with the 3 of us when my husband's work settles down, but even if I say so, I'm busy with my child, so I think this lifestyle is not bad for 1 to 2 years. Just as I was thinking about such a carefree thing, someone visited my house. The intercom rang, and I heard a knock on the door and a voice calling me. That voice belonged to my mother-in-law. She came into the house without hesitation. Moreover, she brought 5 of her sisters with her. They were people who were my husband's aunts.
Grace, are you still dressed like that in your pajamas? It's already noon.
I don't have any plans to go anywhere today because I'm busy with work, and it was a sudden visit. I was wearing a long-sleeved sweatshirt and black pants. It was just a casual outfit that I could wear to a convenience store or when a delivery person came. When I answered that way, my mother-in-law gave me a cold look and continued talking.
It's embarrassing that my daughter-in-law is dressed like that. That's why Joshua doesn't come home. Dress more like a woman.
Joshua is at work. Besides, it doesn't matter if it's not feminine these days. My mother-in-law and my husband Joshua don't communicate much. The reason is, my mother-in-law is very intrusive. Joshua, who hates trouble, seems to ignore the persistent emails and phone calls from his mother, and I get the backlash.
Joshua will be back in about 2 months, you know?
Right, I'll be careful. Why do I have to worry about my appearance when I'm at home? That's what I thought, but I didn't want to bother arguing with my mother-in-law, so I just nodded along.
Oh, and you guys are thinking of building a new house, right? I know the president of a construction company. I'll introduce him to you, so call him here. He'll give you a good deal.
Thank you very much. The note I received from my mother-in-law had the phone number of the construction company. When I contacted my husband, he said he would leave everything to me. The house we were going to live in was already in the finishing stage, and thanks to the construction company, we were able to choose the design of the exterior and interior. I consulted with my husband a little bit, but I proceeded almost 90% as I liked. I was excited about the new house of my dreams, but my husband didn't seem to be that enthusiastic. Even when I sent him photos of the progress of the construction, he only said one word.
Got it.
That was it. But I was still happy until the house was finished, because I could have the new house I longed for. I was looking forward to the completion of the house, but one day, as I was reading the mail that arrived at my house, the intercom rang. It must be my mother-in-law and her sisters, I thought, and hesitated to go to the front door. Then I heard the sound of the door opening, some footsteps, and conversations, and I was surprised. I had left the key open. I was careless. My mother-in-law and her sisters come to visit every week without notice.
Hey, why do you not come out?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was in the bathroom and didn't notice. I wondered why I had to apologize as I said that. The 5 sisters of my mother-in-law said,
"The house is almost finished, isn't it? Let's celebrate."
That sounds nice. I want to eat chicken dishes.
I'm in the mood for beef stew. Make it for me.
And they did whatever they wanted. Why do I have to cook for the couple's new house celebration when I'm the one involved? If I told them clearly that I didn't like it, my mother-in-law and her sisters would just yell at me that it was my duty as a wife. Even if I consulted with my husband about my mother-in-law and her sisters doing whatever they wanted.
They're family, so just deal with them.
He didn't seem to want to help me at all. My mother-in-law and her sisters opened my refrigerator without permission and rummaged through it. At that time, I heard a loud noise and went to the kitchen, and it seemed that they had broken the mug I cherished.
Oh no! What a mess!
It's okay, don't worry about it.
What? Don't you care? There's a stain on my bag.
It's dangerous to leave such fragile cups around. You should clean up quickly.
I was furious that they had used and broken my precious things without permission, but I had no choice but to deal with the broken mug. The sisters, and of course, my mother-in-law, didn't pay any attention to me, and started eating the snacks in the refrigerator and watching TV. A week after the sisters' selfish celebration party, the long-awaited house was completed. Even without me telling them, the sisters who knew the location of the house, as expected, came to visit the house a week after it was completed.
Oh, what a bland house. It's been a week and it's not tidy at all, and what do you mean there's only a refrigerator?
I'm broke because of the expenses, so I'll get everything ready by next week.
What are you talking about? You can't live comfortably like this.
That's right. Nobody would want to live in such a plain house. Let's go buy some furniture and appliances right now.
Oh, no, it's okay. I can use the old ones until next week. I refused, but I was dragged by the pushy sisters, and they bought me everything from sofas, TVs, TV stands, to microwave ovens and rice cookers, all new. I don't need you to go through all this trouble for me.
It's only natural.
That's right. Since we bought so much stuff, it must be hard to tidy up, right? We'll stay over for a while and help you.
Huh? It's okay.
It's fine, it's fine. Don't be shy.
I wasn't shy at all, but the sisters started to insist on staying over. Well, as expected, they had no intention of helping with the tidying up, and they just lazed around, complaining about their own families.
Grace, make some tea.
Oh, I want coffee.
I want something sweet.
I felt like I had reached my limit with the sisters who treated me like a servant. As I was preparing the drinks, the living room became quiet. I took the drinks and went to the living room, and there was no one there. I thought it was strange, and when I looked for them, they had entered my room without permission and were rummaging through my things.
Oh no! These clothes with exposed arms are no good.
My mother-in-law was tearing up my favorite camisoles and tops. By the time I got there, she had already torn up several clothes and put them in a plastic bag. I screamed at the sight. Hey! What are you doing? That's my clothes! As I was arguing with my mother-in-law,
Oh, this is nice. Give it to me too.
No way! I'll take it.
sisters were pulling on my necklace. Hey! It'll break!
Oh!
As soon as they said that, the necklace snapped.
Oh no, it's because you pulled it.
What have you done?
You don't need to get so angry, do you? You can just buy another one.
The necklace that the two sisters broke was a high-end brand. I was speechless and couldn't say anything.
What are you making a fuss about?
One of the sisters who hadn't been in my room until now came to the room, but what she had in her hand was a hobby book that I cherished. Excuse me, why do you have my book? I'd appreciate it if you could put it back where it was.
I was bored and wondered if there was anything interesting.
As she said that, she started flipping through the book, licking her finger and turning the pages. Excuse me.
What?
It was dirty, of course, but I was worried about something else.
Oh, it tore.
She turned the pages too hard, and several pages of my precious book tore. As I was shocked and depressed.
Why are you making such a gloomy face? It's not like we did anything wrong.
That's right.
The sisters laughed. I thought they were the ones who were wrong, but as I kept my mouth shut.
Oh, by the way, there's no bedding for us to stay over, is there?
That's true.
They changed the subject and left the room without feeling sorry. I was angry with the sisters who destroyed my house in no time. And they only targeted my things, and I wondered if they were doing it on purpose.
Hey, let's have steak for dinner tonight.
That sounds good.
We're tired, so please get us premium steak and luxury feather bedding for each of us.
You should have a regular steak. It's strange to say that you're the same as us, when your positions are different, right?
Is that so? By the way, the money is...
We're guests, you know? Do you intend to make us pay?
Well, you are guests, but I didn't invite you.
You're terrible. We're family, aren't we? We should support each other. We came to celebrate your new house, so you should at least act like a good host. That's normal, isn't it?
Family?
Oh, you want to say we're not family because we're not blood related?
Didn't you hear this from Joshua? I told him to tell you.
What? What are you talking about? It's only natural for a wife to serve her husband's family.
No, I'm single, you know?
What?
I divorced Joshua a week ago. You didn't know, did you? I thought you came here to harass me.
What do you mean?
Divorce? What's that?
A week ago, I received a letter. It was about my husband's affair. This is a copy of the evidence. What I showed the sisters was a photo of my husband with another woman. The sender is the husband of the woman he cheated with. Joshua is not only away for work, but he's also traveling with her.
No, no. That's a lie. My Joshua would never do such a dirty thing.
It's true. I actually exchanged emails with him, and he admitted to the affair. I also received alimony. He said he'll pay child support every month, so it's settled. Well, I don't need it anyway. Besides, the reason he married me was for money, right? My parents run a company. My husband said,
Mom told me to marry you for money, so I approached you. But a loveless marriage is meaningless. I'll pay you the alimony.
He didn't apologize, and I was shocked when I learned the truth, but I was able to accept his words easily. I even felt a little sorry for him, who was forced to marry me by his mother. But that doesn't mean what he did was forgivable, and he's paying me and the other husband alimony. The other husband is pitiful, but from what I heard, he wasn't a very good husband either, as his wife often had bruises on her face. Well, that's none of my business, so I won't interfere. My mother-in-law was stunned with her mouth open when she heard my story.
What? Then what are you going to do with this house?
There must be a loan left, and the value will go down if you live in it once, right?
You've only lived here for a week, so why don't you rent it out? You'll get a monthly income, won't you?
Good idea! Grace seems to have received alimony, so you won't say you want this house, will you?
You're terrible for divorcing without telling my sister. You should refuse the property division.
That's true. What do you think? We can manage this house for you, right?
And they carried on the conversation on their own. Excuse me? Refuse what? This house is under my name, you know?
What?
I did everything by myself, you know? What? The name is basically your husband's, right? What do you mean by basic? I earn more than him, and he was living in my house all this time.
Then, change the name. I won't let you make it yours alone. We'll pay the rent and the loan together, so change it.
There's nothing to forgive. The debt of this house is 0. Because my parents paid it all as a gift. It's completely mine. Joshua also agreed to it from the beginning, so he consented.
No, no. I don't accept that. It's something you bought when you were married.
Since we decided it with a lawyer, if you want to fight, let's meet at mediation with Joshua. Well, I think convincing Joshua is the first thing to do. When I said it clearly, the mother-in-law and her sisters were flustered.
Then I'll take back the appliances and stuff.
Go ahead.
You can eat a cold meal for a while. You're broke.
That's right. I'll have all the furniture and appliances delivered next week, so I'll eat out for a while. The reason I was broke was because I had already bought the appliances and furniture.
You said you had no money.
I was broke because I bought furniture and stuff. I refused to use the old ones until next week, didn't I?
What a cunning! You were planning to make it yours.
Humph. We'll take them back.
The sisters tried to take the appliances, but they stopped in their tracks.
Hey, how are we going to take them back?
We have no choice but to call a taxi, right?
It's difficult to carry everything at once.
You, lend me your car. We can't carry them without a big car. And while you're at it, take them all to my house.
I went shopping with my car, and I took the luggage home once, and then went to pick up the sisters who were waiting while drinking coffee. So, it was impossible for the sisters to take them back without my cooperation. I don't want to. Why don't you call 5 taxis and take them back yourself? Well, I don't think you can load things like TV stands into a taxi. As I refused, the sisters kept complaining. Why don't you ask the men for help? Not that I want to keep them in my house, since they're not mine.
What do we do?
We don't have a big car, you know.
That's right. Our sons are too far away to ask for cooperation.
There's nothing we can do but give up.
How about asking someone else?
The sisters were trying to call a contractor.
What? $600 just to transport them? Don't be ridiculous. Does it cost that much?
The sisters argued with the contractor on the phone, and were eventually turned down. It's rare to be rejected by the contractor. The sisters were dejected and silent. Excuse me, can you leave soon?
We'll leave without you telling us.
Oh, and please pay for my mug, clothes, necklace, and so on.
Enough! How greedy! This should be enough.
That necklace costs $2,000, you know? The sisters grumbled and pooled their money, and begged me to let them off with $2,000 for the necklace, since they had no more money. At the very end,
I'll give it to you. Do whatever you want with the appliances and stuff. You're also to blame for keeping quiet.
she spat out and left, but I accepted it with a smile. The reason, of course, was that I could make a lot of money by selling everything. The mother-in-law and sisters didn't seem to have the idea of selling, and probably disposed of the unnecessary things. Well, even if they wanted to sell, they had to take them back, and maybe they really just gave up. After that, I tidied up the furniture and appliances, and sold the ones I didn't need. Thanks to that, I got some pocket money without doing anything, and I was lucky. Now, 4 years later, I receive child support from my ex-husband every month. I also got promoted at work, and my salary became a decent amount. So, I told my ex-husband that he didn't have to pay child support, but he said he wanted to keep paying because he loved his child. I haven't had any trouble with my ex-mother-in-law since that day, and I live a peaceful life. We go back to my parents' house on weekends and relax. Watching my 4-year-old son grow up is my happiness now.
How did you like this story? Please subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.